Welcome, welcome, namaste. And we use namaste just like aloha as a greeting. We're going to start the Yin Yoga journey today in a seated position, comfortable, and whatever that looks like for you. You can have your legs out in a straddle, legs out in front of you. I always sit cross-legged. That's quite comfortable for me. You can sit on a blanket if you'd like. And we're going to watch our breath, and we're going to cultivate some awareness together. So take your time and settle in a little bit. The Sushumna is that main energy channel, the spine. I want you to just tune in to the very tailbone, the very, very bottom of your spine, and sort of take that first inhalation and drink the breath up and up and up, up past the heart, past the chest and throat, and envision the breath like a fountain coming out the top of your head, and then just let that breath go into the atmosphere. And go ahead and close your eyes and soften the muscles around your eyes. Sit up tall. And there's nothing to change just yet in the breath. I want you to just draw your focus inward. You can place the backs of your hands on your knees. Palms can face up for receptivity. And if it suits you, you can take the very tip of your thumb, tip of your index finger, and place them together in Yana mudra. The word Yana means wisdom. And let the other three fingers just dangle and be very relaxed. It is wisdom to sit and be. And when your attention begins to wander, just like a playful kitten running after a roll of yarn, just bring the kitten back and let him take a nap. In other words, guide your mind back to the soothing and very joyous breath. And allow your lungs to fill, and feeling extra grateful for healthy lungs. And drawing in a smooth, deep breath. And then letting the breath escape. Let the breath sneak away, slow. And notice the tension begin to melt away. And beginner yogas come to the mat and they're nervous, right? And they're resistant. And intermediate and veteran yogis roll out the mat and almost immediately surrender and are comfortable with the concept of surrendering. We become comfortable with the concept of stopping all the doing and just being, opening the heart. There's nothing to change, there's nothing to accomplish or fix. We're just being here together in awareness. And notice the sense of being lifted and light and buoyed even on the inhalation. Just tune into that. And I will too. Feels so good. And then opposite of the buoying is the dropping down, like the sense of being heavy and rooted, grounded, stabilized into your mat, into the earth. Nice, you guys. And I'm going to guide you through 4 square breath, which I like. It's an inhalation of 4, a pause for 4, a sweet exhalation for 4, and another pause. So we'll begin together. Let's exhale and empty the lungs. Empty out, empty, empty. And now slowly draw the breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little pause. And exhale, slow it down. And 4, pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. inhale, invite the breath in, 2, 3, and 4. A little pause, steadiness. And just luxuriate in that exhalation. 3, 4, pause with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, slow it down, smooth it out. 3 and 4, pause. Exhale, exhale, let go. And pause, hold the breath out. Just notice this emptiness, silence. And inhale again, joyously, generously. 2, 3, and 4, pause. And exhale, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're empty again, just notice that. Listen. And inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, pause. Exhale, exhale, rooting down into the earth. Calm it down. Pause, breath is held out. Inhale, generously, not too much, that just right. Come to the top of that breath and pause. Exhale, exhale, empty the lungs all the way, and hold the breath out as long as is comfortable for you. And recover your own natural rhythm of breath. And sit up tall and just notice, observe what's going on mentally. Have you slowed the mind? Emotionally, feeling a little peaceful, happy that you rolled out the mat, happy to be here. Physically, how are you? Let's change the cross of the legs. You'll be sitting in your unhabitual cross. So I'm going to lose my slippers now, you guys. Beautiful. And get situated here. And I want us to inhale nice and slow, wings out to the side, slow, luxurious stretch, stretch, stretch. Palms touch overhead. And really lengthen your arms. Maybe just toggle that waist side to side. Just tune in. What's happening? For me, I feel this mostly in the side waist, but if I tune into the armpits and the shoulder joints, I can feel some release there. And breathing slow, just like we have been. It's easy to forget. And then if it feels good, drop your head back, open your throat, look up. Slowly level out that chin and exhale, let your arms come down. Deliberately slow as you're exhaling that whole time. Beautiful, you guys. And then reach out in front of you. Reach out. You might rest on your elbows. Or just sort of explore, right? I like to kind of rock a little side to side, just release tension before I just come any deeper. So I'm allowing the side body and my hips to open softly and tenderly. I'm not shoving, never shoving. This is yin, you guys. And then go ahead and tuck your chin in. Maybe your forehead will hit the earth. Doesn't matter if it does. You're just exploring and just activating a state of deeper relaxation. Central nervous system falls into rest. It's a response, right? Opposite of that fight or flight. You guys know, I think that's very drastic, but we certainly know when we're activated. It happens for a lot of us right smack in the gut, in the solar plexus. Beautiful. And then inhale and walk back up nice and slow. Offer up this slow breath as you just simply rise up. I really like to have us practice deliberately. Let's put our hands on top of our shoulders. Let your elbows just wing out to the side, and I want us to sort of spend a little time twisting And you can twist fast or slow. It's your practice. I'm not going to tell you what speed to go. I just want you to get curious. Get curious about a seated twist. And if it's better to just sort of sway a little quicker. We're using a little muscle here, right? Anytime we move, we're using muscle. And eventually we're going to settle into the yin twist, right? And let's do that now, off to the left. So set your hands down, and your right hand's going to come outside this left knee, and you're going to twist from the waist, then the shoulders, and then the neck. And so you'll be looking over your left shoulder, and sit up tall, so the spine is nice and tall, looking over your left shoulder. And invite the breath in. And soothe the soul, calm the mind. If the mind is wandering, so what? So what? You're human. Give yourself a break. Don't beat yourself up. And just guide the mind. Guide the mind. Come on back. Let's explore the breath together. Yoga practice is more enjoyable when we cannot chatter our way through, right? So use your inhalation here. Untwist your beautiful spine, and slowly with the exhalation, wander your body around. Find yourself into another seated twist off to your right. Sit up tall. Right hand might be behind you like a kickstand. Your left hand outside this right knee, and you're looking over your right shoulder. And keep that breath flowing, ebb and flow, filling and emptying, steady, cleansing exhalations. And untwist, come back to the center. Let's change the cross of the legs again. You'll be in your habitual cross, right? You guys can always come into a deeper cross if you want. I want you to stretch up through this right side. Really enliven this stretch. Really feel that before we tilt. Just feel this right side ribs, right? And then begin a slow tilt, very slow exploration. You can close your eyes here. All we're doing is side bending, and you're bending way over to your left. Bend your elbow, so that your hand just gives the back of your neck a little massage, a little tenderness. I wish I was doing it in the studio, but sometime out in the future. Yeah, just soften the throat, the tongue in the mouth, the muscles around the eyes, and just notice what's happening, what's going on. And stay with yourself, stay present to the present. And let the inhalation bring you up nice and slow. Stretch up with both hands. We're going to move very slow. You're still inhaling. Drop your right hand down. Stretch up through this left side. Inhale here. Inhale. And exhale. Slowly, slowly side bend over to your right. Nothing too drastic. Just enabling the side body to soften. Bend your elbow. Let your hand just grace the back of your neck. We're going on a little investigation of the tissues. The yin practice is about the tissues, the connective tissues, ligament, tendon, fascia. The muscles are soft, as is the mind. use your inhalation to come on up and stretch up again. Inhale, let your palms again touch overhead. And it's a long stretch up. Hold your belly in. Just to relax here, relax. Chin is level. You guys are doing great. Just breathing and feel those armpits. Yeah, a lot of energy in the armpits. So few teachers even dare say the word armpits. Shoulder joints are softening. Bend your elbows here. Clasp each elbow in each hand, and you'll be framing your head. Breathe in. Feel the release in the shoulder joints. Lots and lots of muscle tissue. Rotator cuff. Softening the muscles and just allowing the ligaments to get pulled slightly. And then undo that. Exhale. Circle the shoulders around, nice and slow, nice and slow. I like to circle one at a time, but that doesn't mean that's what you have to do. Shoulders up, back, and down. Shoulders up, back, and down. One at a time for me, I get to isolate and really focus in. And close your eyes. There's no need whatsoever to look at the screen. The instruction is simply rotate the shoulders forward, back, one at a time, fast, slow. It's up to you. And just get in touch with shoulder tension. And this is when we sort of have an aha moment. You're simply circling the shoulders around. All of a sudden the throat, the chest become a little freer. Upper back, the trapezius. And you feel better through the neck. Beautiful, you guys. And arms out to the side. Spread your fingers nice and wide here. Yeah, make fists. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Make fists, fingers wide. Beautiful. Inhale, reach up again. Bend your elbows again. Frame your head again. And just notice, is there any newfound pliability? Feel a little freer, a little more freedom. And open up. And notice your capacity here for prana, for life force. And exhale, let your wings come down that entire length of the exhalation. If you need to change the cross of the legs, you're getting a little achy through the hips, we're not going to be seated too much longer. You can change the cross. Great, you guys. And then we're going to circle the head and the neck around. Palms down on each knee, supportive and grounding. And do one circle clockwise. Meet in the middle and go back the other way, and really slow it down and get very, what if you could actually get awestruck? Is that too much of an exaggeration? Just finding awe in your physicality. 7 vertebrae in the neck, so much bone can get compressed, tense, stuck and dry even. So we're going to take some time to just luxuriate here and appreciate our beautiful bodies. So much connective tissue, things deep inside the body. We so often just think about how we look on the outside. How are we feeling? We don't think about our bones too much. We don't want to take advantage. Our skeletal system. Beautiful, you guys. So nice, so nice. Tuck your chin, look down. If your eyes were open, you'd be looking right at your lap. I'm trusting that most of your eyes will be closed, practicing sensory reduction, just closing off the sense of sight. It really enlivens the other senses. What are you hearing around your home and yard, music, your own breath? And then inhale with me, raise your chin, inhale deeply, exhale, drop your head back, open your throat. Just check it out. Open your jaw here. Wiggle your jaw around. Swallow. Soften the shoulders and come back to neutral chin. And then I want us to do this little ear to the shoulder action. It looks a little like a metronome. And you can do this as slow as you want. I'm not going to guide you how slow. Just get very curious. Again, another lateral side bend. Very important for the neck and for the vertebrae. And just bearing in mind that the neck is simply an extension of the spine. Beautiful. I don't know about you, but I'm really ready to get out of this cross-legged position. So join me on your hands and knees. Take your time, and you guys can always use a blanket underneath the knees if you want. And we're going to cat-cow together deliberately. We're going to cat-cow really slow, so your knees are underneath your hips. I almost said knees under your shoulders. Your hands, how about that, are under the shoulders. You can tuck your toes here. I like to tuck my toes, but it's just a lot more energy. And then I'm going to guide you through 2 times. I want us to go really slow. So let's start with an exhalation, rounding the back, tucking the chin in. Push your hands way down into the floor. You're exhaling this whole time. And inhale, belly drops. Chin comes up, so does tailbone. Open heart, extend the spine. Exhale, and then continue on with your breath. Can you inhale and exhale to the full capacity of your lungs, joyously? Can you stay very aware of the breath and still articulate the spine? And just find the soothing quality here, opening the back body. And opening the front body. When you're in extension or cow, you're opening the space around the heart. And protecting the heart in the flexion when the spine is rounded. And then come to neutral spine with me. I'm going to turn around and face you guys. You're going to stay on your hands and knees. The shape of a wine barrel is perfect for our body, right? So if we were in a wine barrel, I like to get a little playful here, pretend we are. You'd be down here, right? Elbows bent considerably. And then come up and around as though you're pretending to scrape the top of the barrel in the cat, and then you're moving around. And you guys have all done this in the studio. And at a certain point, we start kind of moving our head and neck around, spine and serpentine. And I always say in the studio, pretend that you have a crown mounted to the tip of your nose. How would Jackson Pollock do this? And just enjoy this very animal-like motion, hands and knees, and just articulate the spine. And more than anything, you guys, get free, get playful. Use your breath. And don't forget to bend your elbows, and your chin almost glides along your mat. And then come back up to hands and knees. I don't think you guys are going to need to watch me, but I want you to look over your left shoulder. So you're really, keep your hands out in front though. A lot of time we walk our hands around. I want you to keep your hands out in front and then just really look behind you. And then do that over the right shoulder. Breathing in all the while. One more time, look over your left shoulder. And right. Beautiful. And come back to neutral. And we're going to do some hip circles here, so I'll turn again. So hip circles are when you're dropping your hips down to your knees and then coming around. I'll move back so you guys, it's hard to see black tights against that black fireplace, but you're feeling this on the knees. So the hips are going in this direction, right? Counterclockwise. And you can widen your knees a little more here. So it's a different action than the barrel rolls, because the barrel rolls were more cat-cow, and this is releasing the hips. This should feel good, especially after sitting cross-legged for so long. Beautiful, you guys. And then join me in a seated butterfly. And unlike a yang class, you guys, where you would be encouraged to bring the heels in and hold on and drive your knees down, we're not going to do any of that. You're going to actually push your feet farther away from you or move your hip back so that when you look down, you're seeing this diamond shape, right? And very gently, you can lean forward or not. This pose can be done with soft hands in a meditative state. You can come forward. Just don't grip anywhere. So you're just releasing your hands and your arms, your legs, and then begin to tuck the chin in. And if you can rest your forehead on your feet, good for you. I'll watch. Good. And allow the breath to expand in the lungs. And allow the back of the neck to be soft. If you need to support the outside of your knees, you guys, with any kind of blankets, blocks, pillows, books, please do so. This is a seated butterfly, good for the groin and the inner thighs, right? Quadriceps are soft, hamstrings are soft, glutes are soft. And as your entire being begins to relax, you're moving away, more and more away from that fight or flight response. It's necessary if we're in imminent danger, but that fight or flight response really holds us back from realizing our true selves and our deepest relaxation. And just exploring your sense of well-being here and calm. Some of you are still going, right? Even during this situation. There's a good word. And so we come to the mat to practice Yin for a few moments, to consciously breathe, to consciously be, to soothe the soul and just relax the mind. We've been here for almost 2 minutes. We're going to be here for 1 more minute. Stillness matters. It's one of the main ingredients, our tattva in the Yin practice. Time is the magic. And then exploring your edge is equally as important as stillness and time. So you're never pushing, always allowing, just softening the joints in the body. And come on up, but do so with a very conscious inhalation so that you're rising up and you're drinking the breath in and in and in. And we become, as veteran yogis, to use our breath as this meditative tool that it is. Widen your feet just about hip width apart here. Hands are behind you. You're leaning back slightly. And just let your knees rock side to side. windshield wiper. And you can really sort of luxuriate, savor this. For me, when I'm doing this, I feel this in the side waist way more than my hips. And if you keep your knees so that they're quite wide through the rotation, then you'll feel the release in the groin. And you might feel a little fragile after that seated butterfly. And if your mind continues to wander through the practice, and it will, then just always remembering to guide the mind back to the breath. Beautiful, you guys. And from here, I'm just going to offer up a nice, easy straddle pose. And whatever you're using for a bolster, for me, I just use a great big thick blanket and just kind of roll it up so it's good for my bolster. And if you have a couple of paper towels, those big fat rolls of Viva paper towels, you can put those in too, or any kind of book or blocks. So you're getting yourself situated here. Maybe you even need to rest on your elbows. I look bored, right? I'm not bored, it's just a nice support. And so find your edge here. And then you're not pushing into the pose, you're just allowing. And you notice my feet are flopping around. I'm doing this, well, you're hopefully not noticing because your eyes are closed, but shake your legs out and give them an intentional signal not to tighten. You're not having your muscles be firm here. And just use the breath to soothe the tendons, to soften the ligaments. And your mind will always be tempted to intervene, you guys. And the reason it does that is because we're human. So you can just relax and just sort of luxuriate in this straddle pose. And we've been here just 1 minute, and we're going to actually be here for 2 more minutes. I've got my eye on the clock. There's nothing that you need to do. There's nothing that you need to accomplish or worry about. You get to just be with yourself, and your entire body melts into a new realm of relaxation, and the mind follows suit. And I invite you guys to take a few moments to really consciously follow the breath in and let the breath expand and move out to its full range of depth potential. Just noticing that and really falling in love with that. It's so interesting when I look at the roster today. We have some professors, we have some realtors, we have a couple of executive, we have a nurse, we have someone who's in government, someone who's in skincare, we have a chef. These are creative minds, right? It is hard to turn the mind off. Always thinking, what if, what about this? So we fall in love with the breath and begin to use the breath. You guys ready to come out of this pose? So we're going to come out. Good, good. I can see you. And raise up with breath. So you're raising up with breath. Inhaling, inhaling, inhaling joyously. Yummy. Set your toys aside, right? Don't need those. Your legs are still in straddle. One knee up, the other knee up. Don't worry if you're feeling fragile. Slide back a little, hands behind you. We can windshield wiper here, and for some of you, this might just feel so awesome, But for me, at a certain point, windshield wiper doesn't do it for me. And so maybe you're the same. If that's the case, I'm going to invite you to roll onto your back and perhaps hinge the legs. One leg up, one leg down. Maybe you'll bicycle. Maybe, I don't know, right? I really don't know. It might be happy baby. In the studio, I see all sorts of things. And it's always reminding me that there is no yoga teacher that could really tell you what you need in your body. Instead, let's take another full minute to just get really playful here and tune into the joints, tune into the back and the legs, the groin, the hips. What do you need? And then give it to yourself. I always think that yoga is play. It's a very playful, it's a very curious art form, exercise maybe. To me, it's just much more of a physical investigation, opportunity to turn the mind off, opportunity to turn the breath on. Just a little longer. Just get curious. You can always watch me if you want for inspiration, but I really would be surprised if you guys did that. But you're welcome to. You can close your eyes and just trust your own intuition. Beautiful, you guys. And then rock up. Rock up. Rock right up into a squat. So that would be an easy transition for some of us. Come up to a squat, boom, there we are. But I have to turn and face you. So for a lot of us, squatting is just not comfortable. Take a block or maybe 2 blocks and set underneath the sits bones, underneath your tailbone. Get yourself nice and comfortable here. Maybe you're going to sit on some pillows. Just make sure they're not going to wobble underneath you. And if your feet are tracking forward, then let your knees track right over. So some of us, our feet go way out to the side. That's fine. Just let your knees go out too. And if you don't need a block, and you can find the full expression of the squat, great. This pose is so good for the Achilles heel, for the heels in general, the ankles, the knees, the pelvis, the spine. This is a phenomenal pose. So finding your edge and then getting comfortable and allowing time to do what it does. You can place your palms in Anjali Mudra. Your outer elbows, can push your knees open slightly. And just lessen any grip. Sometimes these thoughts are like mental barnacles and they're just stuck. And so perhaps dive deep into the breath, into the meditation, and just let the barnacles loosen. Let the thoughts just fade away. Excuse me. I think it's a rarity when the body and mind can be at the same place at the same time. Meditation. And the meditation just miraculously slips right into bliss, the 8th and final limb of yoga. Bliss, we can't chase bliss. It has a way of just enveloping our body-mind. Breathe in and exhale fully. breathe in again. And exhale, let go. We're going to come into a dangle, you guys. This is at the beginning of class. I ask that you guys have a book or a block or some support. Hands down, you're going to straighten your knees. We're going to come right into a dangle. I'm going to turn to the side here. You can have a big bend in your knees if you need to. Let me back up. Yeah, there you go. That's better. Big bend in the knees. Maybe you'll even place your hands down. No matter what, just tuck your chin so that your spine can kind of dangle. And if you can begin to let your hands come down to the earth, great, right? You can bend one knee and then the other, just sort of kind of walk it out a little bit. We'll get to stillness, but we don't have to like get there like right in the first immediate second. If you need the block, then the block out in front of you, block or blocks, simply raises the floor to you. So you can have your hands on the block, yeah, and just dangle down. Elbows on the block. And you're not straightening your knees unless you have that gear. So you want to be careful here and just allow the hamstrings to soften. You can shake your head no. No way. And yes, I'm loving my yin practice, yes. And then settle in, just like a little rag doll. Just let your body fall forward. Explore the breath and notice how your hamstrings are softening in your spine, just cascading right over those thighs. Easy does it. Excuse me. And from the dangle, we're going to play with pyramid pose, you guys. I'm going to turn and face you. I think that might be easier. So pyramid pose, you're going to step back with your right foot, just about 2 feet. Right, and your toes are facing in the same direction. You're not walking a tightrope here, though. Do you see what I'm doing? You're not walking that tightrope. You're taking your right foot and moving it over, maybe just 4 inches. And then you're just dangling right over that left thigh. And again, you can have your blocks here if you need the blocks. And just be exploring and remembering that so many of these tissues in the body are just exactly like rubber bands, actually made of elastin. They can take a lot of stress. It's good stress, healthy stress, not too much. Just allowing the body to really find some newfound pliability and mobility. So step up with your right foot and step back with your left. About 2 feet. Toes are aiming in that same direction. Yeah, and you're not walking a tightrope here. You're going to walk that foot over. It's much easier. And then you're just going to drape your body right over that right thigh. Nice and slow. Tuck your chin. A deep relaxation and ease
and a grace, just sort of permeating every cell, enveloping you. Just easy does it. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Just practicing your yin. And walk your left foot up to meet the right. And then I want you guys to bend your knees a lot and start inhaling, curl up like a baby fern, uncoil. So you're coming to standing, but you're doing so really slow. And I'm probably gonna lose you guys in the camera. Reach your wings out to the sides, stretch up. This is sunrise breath. And exhale, exhale, and come back down. Sunset. So you're exhaling into your forward fold, and then inhale, bend your knees a lot, uncoil just like a baby fern uncoils. Reach up and out, breathe in, and come on down. And you can do this a little quicker. I want you to just follow your own breath, however slow. Sunrise when you rise, sunset when you fall. Fall with the exhalation. Rise with an inhalation. And the next time that you're in your dangle, come down to your hands and knees, nice and gently here, nice and gently. And then find your way onto your back. Nice and slow, very gently. Whatever you're going to use for your Shavasana, you might actually want to have that by you now, just so that you guys don't have to go for that later. So take your time onto your back. Just get very present here. Notice if you're anticipating anything, don't. Just get settled into the earth, sort of letting the back body ripen, using your breath. Letting the tailbone get very heavy here. And then keep your left leg long. Pull your right knee into the chest. Clasp your hands all the way to the webbing here. And you're pulling that right knee into the chest and in and in. You might feel a little pinch. You don't want to go to a point of pain, but you definitely want to find your edge. And then settle in, relax here in the pose, and we'll hold this for a little bit of time. And bend your left knee, sole of the foot flat on the mat. Cross your right ankle over your left knee, figure 4. Reach through that triangle. Clasp your hands now behind your left thigh, or maybe even up over that left knee. You get to decide how much you want to pull the left knee into you. How much do you want to slide the right heel down closer to the navel? Just be gentle with that right knee. And you are rocking your body side to side. Getting a little massage of the lumbar spine. Beautiful rock, feels so soothing and comforting. And let the contentment settle in as you find your stillness here. if you've forgotten to really explore the breath and dive deep into the experience, I'm going to invite you to just explore your capacity for a deep breath, lung capacity, drinking the breath in so slow, so smooth. Exploring the pause at the top of the breath. And letting the exhalation out, so soothing, cleansing, slow, slow, slow. And another cradle at the end of the breath where you can swing and sway a bit in nothingness. Uncross that right ankle, so both soles of the feet down, knees bent up towards the ceiling, and let your knees fall side to side. And maybe rock your skull at the same time. It's a real luxurious, just easy rock of the knees, rock of the head. No rush, nothing rushes in the yin practice. Muscles are soft, eyes are soft, mind maybe feels like mush today. Save all the thinking and creating, save the worrying for another time. Beautiful. Extend your right leg long on the mat, nice and slow. Pull your left knee in, clasp your hands all the way to the webbing, and pull that left knee in and in. You might feel a little pinch, avoid the rib cage. Find your edge here. Soften the right leg so nothing tight. Maybe even drum that right leg a little bit. And then just tuck your chin and we'll find our edge and our stillness. What can you soften? What can you let go of here? Is it physical tension? Can you soften the physical body intentionally? Is it mental tension? Are you thinking? What can you release and soften? Bend your right knee, sole of the foot on the mat. Cross your left ankle over that right knee, figure 4. Reach through that little triangle, clasp your hands either behind the right thigh or perhaps up over that right knee, pulling the right knee into the chest and slipping the left heel down. And a little rock and finding your edge here, not pushing, and just a slight rock again. Much needed massage on that lumbar spine. Yeah, feels so good. Feels playful too, right? And settle into your stillness, you guys. Bend your right knee, sole of the foot meets the mat. Uncross your left ankle. You can windshield wiper the legs. You can hinge the legs. One leg up, one leg down. Again, we're going to take another minute here. You can open your legs to a nice wide straddle, happy baby, rock roll, knees into the chest. Get very curious. Get very playful. Have fun. Release any physical tension. Continue the slow and smooth breaths. Continue taking a peek into your capacity for deep peace, capacity for smoother, deeper breaths, capacity for peace. And roll up. We're going to come into saddle pose. And I don't want to be reluctant to teach this at all because this is the one about the quads. This is the one that I have to demonstrate so much. So first off, I'm going to show you the easiest one because if you guys are going to try with me, eventually you might just end up on your side, reaching for the top foot. And don't have your knees apart like this. Just relax. And then how far you pull that leg back, you're still going to get a really great quad stretch. And there's no sense propping your head up. I'm just doing this so I can demonstrate. You guys could just kind of be luxuriating here. Okay, and then if that's the case, I'll tell you when to flip over. Otherwise, this is the pose where you open your heels and let them just graze the side of your hips, right? You ought to be really gentle with your knees here. This is very internally rotated for those femur bones. This is when you might want to set a bolster behind you, a pillow, or 4 or 5 or 10. I don't know. I can't see you guys. You might just want to lean back. I think David just gets comfortable leaning back. You could always lean against a wall here. You can always extend one leg out and so that you're in half saddle. Only you guys know your body here, right? I wish I could see all of you. I can't. I can guide you. So I'm going to go to the full expression of the pose because I'm internally rotated, right? Which just means I'm pigeon-toed and the way that my femur bones insert into my pelvis. And so I'm going to watch the clock for 1.5 minutes. If you guys are in half saddle, don't worry. I'll tell you when to flip or switch. If you're in full saddle with me, I want you guys to just completely marinate into the mat and find that sense of well-being here on your mat. So if you're in half saddle, go ahead and very slowly, compassionately switch and take your time. And if you're in full saddle, then we have about another full minute and a half here, you guys. Relax your jaw. And actually scan your body from the crown of your head through the shoulders and chest, through the abdomen and the pelvis, quads, knees, ankles. What is it that is calling for just a bit more relaxation? Maybe it's the mind. Just check it out. Practice with a deep sense of presence. Don't check out. Notice the quality of the breath, the soothingness, the sweetness. And we have about 10 more seconds before you move. For those of you that are on your back or in full saddle, if you're coming up, I want you to push into your elbows, tuck your chin. Don't tweak your back, so you're coming up really slow. And then you can put your hands behind you and still continue to come up slow, very respectfully. And then you're going to straighten one leg and get that leg out in front of you. You'll feel some fresh blood move through that knee joint. And then the other leg. And you might want to start by simply drumming your legs here a little bit, right? You might want to start by just swishing your feet, 2 and 10, 2 and 10, and just sort of shaking everything out, right? So the thing that works for me may not work for you. I'm going to bend my knees here. I'm coming right up into my reverse tabletop. You guys might want to watch the first one because it's hard for me to describe. I'll do it quickly. Just watch. You're going to come into your reverse tabletop. Whether you drop your head back doesn't matter. I come up on my toes here and then just push my hips forward. My knees almost hit the floor. I get a great quad release here, but I'm not sure if that's going to work for you or not. Maybe it's just going to be reverse tabletop. Maybe you're going to drop your head back. And you can exhale and then inhale, come back into that. You guys can play with that. Or not, or not. Or not. Yeah, beautiful. And then if you'd like, get your legs out in front of you. I think they still are anyway. We're going to do a couple of really nice kind of rinsing it out. I'll move back so you guys can see my spine here. That's better, right? Color-wise. So just watch. I'm really going to exaggerate my chin out because I'm looking for this extension. I'm going to exhale, exhale. And then I'm going to inhale. You see how much my chin is curled in? I'm inhaling. And exhaling. And even if your rinsing out is just a few inches, you don't have to drop this far down. I want you to play with the exhalation, extending the spine, and then curling up, right, with an inhale, so that it's so much more about breath. But you'll feel this nice rinsing out of the spine and certainly behind the hamstrings. So join in anytime. And really luxuriate through the breath.
time. Exhale as you go down. Inhale. And then slowly, slowly find your way onto your back. Shavasana, most important pose of all. Get comfortable. Don't worry about one thing. Maybe a pillow over your eyes, an eye pillow with a little weight. You guys could always just place a wash rag or a towel. T-shirt blocks out the light, a little bit of weight on your eyes. And we have about 7 or 8 minutes. So don't worry about a thing, you guys. I will call you back when it's time.
ever so slowly, compassionately roll off to the left side, your yin side. And let the earth support you. You're going to curl up in a sweet fetal position. Just savoring this ease, this tenderness. You did this. You created a sanctuary in your home, rolled out the mat, jumped on, and just gave yourself over to the guidance of someone else. It's really nice to be guided, be told what to do, and just be surrendering to that. It's part of being a veteran yogi, right? You just don't really care. I mean, you obviously trust your instincts, right? Just want you to be aware that you're creating this ease and grace in the body-mind. Slowly rise up. Let the head be the last thing to come up, and find a seat that is comfortable for you. Take your time. Sit up tall with purpose, and put a silly grin on your face. Turn the corners of your lips up. It takes muscle, just for a moment. And notice the energy shift and the sweetness. Beautiful, you guys, so nice. This easy does it. And gather the palms together in front of the heart, bowing to your sadhana, your practice, and honoring this choice of yours, this wise choice to practice yin, to soothe the soul, to calm the nerves. The divine light in me sees, honors, and respects that very same divine light in each and every one of you. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Thank you for tuning in. Make it a great day. Namaste.